Hi guys, welcome to Sunya IAS. I hope I'm live. I hope I'm audible and visible to you. So guys, in today's session, we will discuss the new topic of your Aarambh batch. Today's class is about the early medieval India and the rise of Delhi Sultanate. Today we will understand what happened in the transitional phase of the early medieval India. So basically, when we talk about the medieval Indian history, it starts with the tripartite struggle where the Gurjar Pratiharas were dominant and they defeated everybody else. And guys, I also want you to know that this particular time starts after the death of Harshvardhan, which is again very important for you. I will try to link it with the ancient India as well. Also, you must join the new CSAT batch, and if you need to know anything about this particular batch, you can let me know in the comment box, and you can also comment me about the things in the description box form. So please go for this CSAT batch, and I'll give you the details of this batch in the end of the class. I'll discuss what is happening and what is coming up in this particular batch, and it is happening offline in Delhi. We have limited seats for that. I'll explain you this batch also in the end. Okay, so first of all, when I talk about the particular time period of early medieval India, I want you to understand few of the important facts. Basically, the medieval Indian history is divided into three parts. It is divided into three parts. The first part, which we are dealing today, is the early medieval Indian history. The second part is about Delhi Sultanate. And the third part is about the Mughals. Now, in this particular chapter today, what I want you to understand is that a part where the ancient India ended and medieval India started, this part is known as the early Indian history, which is also known as the time of the Rajputs. In this particular time, we saw rise of three important Muslim invaders, and it starts from the 712 AD. So the first date you need to remember is 712 AD, because here for the very first time the first Islamic ruler came and captured the Sindh. The Arab conquest of Sindh happened and it was successful by Muhammad bin Qasim. Okay, then after Muhammad bin Qasim, again a new ruler came and he was also successful in 1001 AD. He is also known as the hero of Islam and he was known as Mahmud of Ghazni. Then third important ruler which you need to understand here is coming, the Islamic ruler basically is coming around 1191 AD, who is also known as Muhammad Ghori. Muhammad Ghori was also from the Ghazni only. Now, Muhammad Ghori's slave started the Delhi Sultanate. So, as he was the slave of Muhammad Ghori, that's why this dynasty is also known as Slave Dynasty. Slave Dynasty started by Qutbuddin Aibak. So basically in the Delhi Sultanate, we will study about 5 dynasty. Okay, 5 dynasties are there. Number 1 is the slave dynasty. Then, who will tell me? Can you tell me? Can you tell me the answer? Which dynasty came after the slave dynasty? Please tell me. We have 5 dynasties in the Delhi Sultanate. Yes, good evening guys, good evening. I'm very good guys, thank you so much. I got late due to the technical issue. Don't worry. We'll be ending the class accordingly as we started late. So we will end it late only. Now you just focus on the class. Basically, we have 5 dynasties. Slave dynasty, Khilji dynasty, Tughlaq dynasty, Sayyid dynasty and Lodi dynasty. So slave dynasty was the first, then came the Khilji dynasty, then Tughlaq dynasty, and then came the Sayyid dynasty, and in the end we had the uh, Delhi Sultanate, slave dynasty, Khilji dynasty, Tughlaq dynasty, Sayyid dynasty and Lodi dynasty. Okay, Lodi dynasty. This sequence is very important for the Delhi Sultanate, which we will cover. So basically what happened, the slave of Muhammad Ghori and also the governor general of Muhammad Ghori was known as Qutbuddin Aibak, who started the first slave dynasty, or who laid the foundation of Delhi Sultanate. How? Because when he was left here in Delhi to keep everything on track, and as Muhammad Ghori wanted to return to Ghazni and plan further, he was killed. Basically, Muhammad Ghori was killed, and as he died, so abruptly the rule got ended. So it was now continued with the slave dynasty with the help of Qutbuddin Aibak. Now, how this was possible that a slave could become a ruler? Basically, in Islam, the concept which Islam follows is all about equality and brotherhood. This is a different type of religion which came in the world with the concept of brotherhood, bhaichara, okay, and also the idea of fraternity, equality. So they used to treat everybody equally. Even the slaves were treated very nicely. Now, if the slaves were good, they were promoted as a general. So he was a commander also. Now they could get a letter from the Sultan, and that letter will recognize the leadership of the slave, and then that particular slave could become a ruler. Okay. So now he also got the letter from the Khalifa, and letter of recognition was given to Qutbuddin Aibak. Now Qutbuddin Aibak basically died due to falling from the horse in a polo game. He was playing horse polo. So he ruled for around 4 years only, and after him the next ruler came, and he was not that good. He is also known as Aarambh, but he only ruled for 8 months. After 8 months, he was removed by Iltutmish. Iltutmish basically really laid the real foundation of slave dynasty because he ruled for a very longer period, and he also protected India from the Mongol invasion. He was the first Muslim ruler to nominate his daughter as the next successor. So Razia Sultan was the daughter of Iltutmish. She got nominated and she became the next ruler after Iltutmish. But Razia was killed, and she was, defeated by her own nobles because she was a woman and she was very liberal in her thoughts. She was free-minded, which was not liked by the Turkish sultans, and that's why she got ended. Now, after the end of the rule of the Razia Sultan, we see the fall of slave dynasty. The last and youngest particular brother of Razia Sultan, Nasiruddin, was made Sultan by Balban. So Balban was a noble initially, but Balban was the last ruler of this slave dynasty, the last biggest ruler or the greatest ruler. Now basically Balban will be the chief architect of Delhi Sultanate, and he will be the one who will start the first different army department. Okay, that's why Balban is important for us. After Balban, the slave dynasty will decline, and in the end, we will see the rise of Khilji dynasty. Okay, here Alauddin Khilji is very important, but Jalaluddin Khilji was the founder. So Jalaluddin Khilji was the founder of Khilji dynasty, and Alauddin Khilji, the son-in-law, basically, he expanded it more, and he was very ruthless in his approach. But after the episode of Padmavat, he died and he lost his control, and ultimately his own warden, Ghazi Malik, basically defeated his sons and other nobles and got victorious in this struggle of war and started the Tughlaq dynasty by taking the title of Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq. Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq was the next important ruler who started the Tughlaq dynasty, and his son is known as Muhammad bin Tughlaq. He's also known as mad ruler. So basically, Muhammad bin Tughlaq got some new reforms in India, but Tughlaq was very much mentally unstable, you can say, while performing the duties as a ruler. Politically, he used to take very different types of vague type of decisions. Like he shifted the capital from Delhi to Daulatabad as he wanted to control South India. He started minting copper coins because the silver coins or overall the silver in the world was declining at that time. So Muhammad bin Tughlaq is considered as a mad ruler. Ultimately, after his death, Firoz Shah Tughlaq came, but Firoz Shah Tughlaq was very religiously intolerant ruler. After the death of Firoz Shah Tughlaq, we saw the attack of Taimur in India, and after the attack of Taimur in Afghanistan, Pakistan, and India area, we saw that there is a problem and a complete chaos in North India. And his governor, the governor of Taimur, Khizr Khan, started the Sayyid dynasty. Okay, now Khizr Khan somehow managed everything, but in the end, Alam Shah, he was not able to maintain the Sayyid dynasty, so he handed it over to Bahlul Khan Lodi. Bahlul Khan Lodi started the next dynasty known as Lodhi dynasty. The dynasty was expanded by Sikandar Lodi, and ultimately it got ended with the Ibrahim Lodi. Ibrahim Lodi was the last ruler of the Lodi dynasty. Ibrahim Lodi was invited by the governor of Lahore because he was very, very arrogant. After the death of Ibrahim Lodi in the first battle of Panipat, the Delhi Sultanate got ended, and the next dynasty or the next rule got started with the Mughals. And we know that Mughals started with the arrival of Babur in 1526 in the first battle of Panipat. He defeated Ibrahim Lodi, and after Babur, we saw the rise of Humayun, then Akbar. Akbar is very, very important because the second battle of Panipat happened in the Akbar's time only, and he reinstalled the throne again for the Mughals. However, it was started with the Humayun, but the Sur interregnum happened in between. I will tell you about Sher Shah Suri and how Humayun was defeated by Sher Shah Suri, and he had to go into exile, and he was underground for almost 15 years. Then Akbar came. After Akbar, we saw the rise of other rulers like Jahangir, Shah Jahan, and ultimately Aurangzeb. Aurangzeb died in 1707 AD, and after the death of Aurangzeb, the modern Indian history starts. Okay, after the death of Aurangzeb, the modern Indian history starts. So that is very, very important for you. Remember the date 1707. Now, today, why I told you all these things? Because we are starting medieval India. You will be knowing these rulers. This is a very important chart which you need to remember. This is the basic. This is the ABCD of medieval Indian history. This is the basic detail of medieval India, and at least these names you need to remember in this way only, in this flow only. Okay, and you will remember it with revision only. See, I remember it in a flow. I can even utter these names while sleeping. you know I can utter these names. Why? Because I have taught it multiple times, but you need to revise it. And for revision, what the best thing is, making this chart without even looking at it. Okay, make it on your own, try to do it, and then you will realize that you will know all about the medieval India. We are starting from this phase. Here we will see the rise of Rajputs. Now the concept of Rajputs starts from who are Rajputs. Who were Rajputs? Did we notice Rajputs in the ancient India? Yes or no? Yes, he was a visionary ruler also. But he could not implement what he wanted. Right, Sumit, you are right. That's correct. But see, what I want you to understand here, the rulers like Muhammad bin Tughlaq or other rulers basically, they are known by what? How do we recall these rulers? Or when we talk about the great leaders, what makes them great? Can you tell me that one reason or the one point which we see while reading the history? It is all about their decisions. See, you don't need to read it in a bookish detail. When you read history, try to go into the depth of it. What is history? It is the decision of your rulers. If you are taking a decision and if you are trying to implement it, but it is not getting implemented in the right way, then your decision is wrong. Then your implementation is weak. Then you are not a great ruler. You need to be very much all-rounder. You need to take care of the women protection. And you also need to have a feminist approach. With this approach, you need to take care of implementation also. What is the use of a great formula when it is not implemented correctly? Let's say I know the mathematics formula, but in the exam, when I solve the answer, I don't apply these steps carefully. I don't implement it. Then will I get the marks? Will I get the answer? Will I get the right solution? No. Right? So you need to see the decisions of your decision will only make the changes. The decision of Gandhiji ending the entire nationalistic movement due to such a small incident of Chauri Chaura. Such a small incident. Only few people died. But still he ended the entire national movement or not. So it is his decision making power which stopped the entire country to move. It was the decision of Bhagat Singh to be hanged and respect the country and die for the nation. It is the decision of Muhammad Ali Jinnah to divide the nation and become a prime minister because he had no scope in India. So decision makes you a leader. Your decision should be very important. Decision of Curzon to divide the Bengal. Getting my point? Reforms of Warren Hastings. What is the reform? Reforms of Warren Hastings, they are the decisions of Warren Hastings. And here you need to understand, when you read the history, it is all about the decisions of your leader. So that implementation is also important. Clear? So we had no Rajputs in ancient India. So how they appeared suddenly in medieval India? How is it possible? Can you tell me? Yes. This is possible because they were connected to whom? They were connected to Kshatriyas. They were connected to Kshatriyas. Remember Kshatriyas? So it is known that Rajputs basically, they were rising power in North India as they were the descendant of Kshatriya clan. Okay, they were connected from the Kshatriyas and they were also connected with the foreign invaders. So do you remember that in ancient India, we had many invaders, attackers, foreigners who came to India, attacked India and got settled down in India. Yeah, so can you see that it's like a person attacking you, started loving you and get settled with you. It is so amazing. Why all the invaders and attackers except Britishers, when they came to India after invading, instead of going back, they used to settle down. Why? The biggest reason is the climatic condition of the India. The climatic condition is so good. The changing season every month is a new season in India. Isn't it? You don't see harsh winters for more than 1 month or 2 months. You don't see harsh summers for more than 1 or 2 months. You will get autumn also, spring also, rainy season also. A country with 6 different seasons. So 6 seasons in 12 months. So you enjoy each and every season. Isn't it? You get so much of a great coastland to import and export. You get so much of forest resources. So the accessibility of everything and with a good peaceful climatic condition was the reason. Second reason is no central administration in India. As I told you that polity is the guardian of economy, right? Polity is the guardian of economy. So when there is no central administration, there was no guardian. It's like a open ट्रेजरी, खुली तिजोरी, जिसे चाहे जो चाहे लूट सकता है. It's like a open treasury, open locker without any lock. So whoever wanted, they could come and capture and take away the things. Nobody was there to stop them. Guardian was not there. We had no guardians. Okay, so who were the rulers then? Rulers basically protected us, but they never had a unity between them. Okay, because the regionalism was higher than the nationalism. Please write it down. This is a formula which will give you extra marks in exam. In the medieval Indian history, we saw that regionalism was more important than nationalism. What is regionalism? The region specific ideas that I belong to this area, I belong to this clan, this is my state, I am a Rajput, I am from Bundi, I am from Kota, okay, I am from Burhanpur, I am from Jaipur, I am from Amer, I am from Ajmer. So this kind of mindset where they used to never have a feeling of oneness, which was against the feeling of nationalism, was a problematic feeling. Because when you follow the feeling of nationalism, you have a feeling of oneness and unity, which makes you more powerful, which makes you grow very nicely and also protects you. Okay, it gives you a protection, right? It gives you more protection than anything else. But the problem with the regionalism is what? That here all the rulers in the Gujarat, Kannauj, Ajmer, Malwa, Bengal, Assam, they used to think distinctively in their own background, according to their own way, according to their own mindset, which was a problematic mindset. They could not understand that we are attacking our own brothers. We are attacking our own family members. We are looting our own people. So how is it beneficial at all? Instead of looking at the science and technology and the growth of the other empires, instead of looking at the industrialization of the Western world, instead of focusing on the mathematics and the science, we started focusing on fighting among ourselves. We were busy and we were disturbed in our own boundary disputes. Imagine a fact that you, at your home, you have some siblings, okay? You, brother and sisters, instead of studying and taking care of your knowledge and future and career, do fighting every day. You have a new agenda of fighting every day. You have disputes on daily basis, okay? You fight for each and small penny, okay? For small things you guys fight every day. So what will happen at your home? You will be busy in fighting. You will be busy in hiding the things. You will be busy in taking care of your own things. You will be selfish. So it is not beneficial in long run, right? What will happen in long run? Ultimately, all of you will get less marks. You guys will score less. You will be unsuccessful in life if you will do it like this. But if you will have unity, if you guys will help each other, if you guys will observe the other parts of the world, what other people are doing, what our neighbors are doing, what our relatives are doing, let's do like that, let's grow together, let's help each other, then what will happen? The entire family will rise. That unity will protect you. Nobody would be able to raise a finger on you. Isn't it? See, I'm not going into the details of the bookish language. What I'm telling you is the conceptual clarity which will help you in a very warm atmosphere of interview. With the shaking legs and empty hands, with the sweaty hands and sweaty fingers. When you will be sitting on that interview chair, there you will not remember the dates and names and the concepts of the history which you read in the books. Then and there you will remember my story which you are learning today in class. And then when you will say this line that regionalism was more higher than nationalism, you will get the full marks because nobody else will say so. Why? Because everybody is trying to mug up the factual details in history. When they read the history, they don't get into the depths. when you will say the line that polity is the guardian of society, polity is the guardian of economy, economy is the guardian of society, society is the guardian of culture, culture is the guardian of custom, you will get full marks. And this is a full proof. You can ask people who have cracked the exam, okay, who are still working, who have just joined recently, why they are there, because they always went into the depth of the concept. And you guys are on the higher studies right now. This UPSC journey is like a higher study. It's like a study where you are like scholars, you do everything. It is more about studying yourself, doing a lot of self analysis and realizing things with the 360-degree approach. It's not about just reading like a school kid and writing in the exam. No, dynamic questions will come. So when we talk about this particular time, here how Rajputs came. After the death of Harshavardhan, there was lack of political unity in North India and the country was split up into a number of states and every state was divided, which was a problem for us. They were not just divided, but they were also fighting with each other. And this fighting spirit was so high that the important kingdoms got emerged in North India like Kashmir, Gandhar, Sindh, Gujarat, Kannauj, Ajmer, Malwa, Bengal and Assam. Now, when I talk about the Rajput kingdoms, it is not about Rajasthan. Many of you think that Rajput means Rajput, Rajasthan. No, not at all. Yes, Rajasthan was specifically the area of Rajputs, but they were in the region of Punjab, in the region of Maharashtra, in the region of central India also. They were everywhere. So when I talk about the Rajput kingdom, the dominance of Rajput began from 7th and 8th centuries and it lasted till the Muslim conquest in the 12th century. So how they came, from where they came? I told you that invaders were there, okay? When they used to come to India, what happened? That these invaders started merging in the Indian society. They used to like the environment of India, and these invaders, basically they were the rulers only. So these rulers and soldiers, commanders who came from the outside world, who came from the foreign countries, when they invaded and attacked, when they came here, they used to be very much fully surprised by the conditions in India, which they liked so much that they never wanted to go back. Okay, they started settling down here with many intermarriages. Okay, like the foreign invader getting married to a Indian Kshatriya will give rise to Rajputs. So Rajputs are mixture of the foreign invaders and the Indian Kshatriyas. This is one of the theory about the rise of Rajputs. The rise of Rajput is a debatable question. It is a debatable question. Nobody can tell you from where they came. Basically, it is said that they were already here in India, but they were not very dominant. But when they saw the fall of other empires, or especially the fall of Harshavardhan, these Rajputs became the most important power of India. It is also said that they are connected to Lord Rama and they were the descendant of Rama. They came from the genealogy of Rama. Okay. Then it is also said that they got appeared from an eternal fire, and it was the eternal fire which gave birth to the Rajputs. It's a spiritual concept. Somebody says that it is all about their birth coming from the sun rays, with the shining sun. They were so bright that Surya Putra started emerging in the Indian subcontinent. So there are different theories. You don't need to go into the spiritual theory and you don't need to go into the historical details, because the rise of Rajputs will not come in your exam. In GS, General Studies, it will not come. Okay, they won't ask you. So just understand, for your understanding, that they were there in India. It was a mixed kind of clan which got developed with the foreign invaders. And see, ruler is a ruler. Okay, ruler is a ruler. A ruler in India will be very similar to a ruler who is there in Australia, in Europe, in the area of Iran, or in any other country. You know why? Because these royal families or these military commanders, they follow some kind of common practices. Okay, and it is easy for them to come together and settle down. Even if they come from a different country, they'll be finding a lot of common details because they are from an elite class. Okay, so for them it is easy to mix and match. And for matrimonial alliances also they used to do it. Now with these foreign powers getting mixed with the Indian Kshatriyas, this Rajput theory got started. So when I talk about the origin of Rajput, it is considered as the descendants of the foreign invaders and Indian Kshatriya. Their chief occupation was war, trade and agriculture, and it also prospered. Now, the first important and the biggest rule for the Rajput is the rule of the Gurjar Pratiharas. They were so powerful that they made all the Islamic rulers fearful. Because if it is said that if the Gurjar Pratiharas were not there in India, maybe India could have got invaded much before than this 712 AD. Because after the rise of Islam in the 7th century AD, the Abbasid and Umayyad caliphs, they were looking at India and they had the intention to penetrate in India. But they got captured the Sindh area also. But even after capturing the Sindh, even after reaching on the gates of the India, they could not penetrate inside because a powerful Gurjar Pratihara kingdom was stopping them to enter in India. So this is a very important concept which you need to understand, that they created a wall. They created a wall against all the Islamic invaders who were sitting on the Sindh, who were sitting on the Multan side. Can you see the map? Sindh and Multan. Is it visible? Yes. Babar also mentioned about the climate of India. Yes, in the Babarnama. Okay, it is written in a Turkish language, in Turki language, it is written. I'll discuss Babar, his entire, history and everything when I'll come to the Mughals. Right now, we will discuss only Rajputs and we will discuss the tripartite struggle for Kannauj. Why they wanted to get Kannauj, how the importance of Kannauj was there. If you remember in the last class, I taught you that Harshvardhan made Kannauj his city, his capital city, after getting it from the Shashank. Okay, he drove Shashank out of Kannauj, and after getting the rule in Kannauj, he made it so prosperous that it was considered that any ruler who will win Kannauj will be the real ruler of India, will be the ruler and the master of entire North India. So that's why the Kannauj was important, and the tripartite struggle started between three important kingdoms: Gurjar Pratiharas, Rashtrakutas and Palas. Okay, so they all were fighting. So these three kingdoms, they were fighting to get Kannauj in their own control, to become the master of Kannauj and to become the master of North India. Clear? Yes. Yes, the theory of Agnikund is there, right, Sumit? Anybody, if you have any doubts, tell me. If you have no doubts, keep writing, go ahead, or it is clear, no doubts, so that I see and I get the confidence that you are understanding. See, I put a lot of efforts in my classes, genuinely. Okay, I don't teach you just from this, studio and smartboard. I teach you from my soul. I am completely involved in my classes and I want you guys to answer me. Okay, I want you guys to interact even if you don't know the answer, even if you have no idea, but still you can think and you can tell me. And the best part is that this is online, so even if you guys will shout and talk and discuss things, or even if you will write the comments, there will be no noise in the class like it happens in the offline classes, right? So I will never say shut up to you guys. I will always ask you guys to tell me what you think. Okay, whatever feeling you have while reading the story, that you should share with me. And in case there will be any mistake, I will correct it, because this is the time where you can make the corrections. And the mistakes which you will do right now in the comment section will be the mistakes which you won't do again in the examination hall. Okay, it is said in the army also that the sweat and blood which you will shed in the training will be saved during the border wars. So to save your blood on borders, you should shed it on the training days. So these are your training days. And if you are not getting trained properly, then it will be a loss in the examination hall. Now understand, the Gurjar Pratiharas, they were the earliest of the Rajput rulers, and Harish Chandra was its first great leader. Do you remember Raja Harish Chandra? He was a great ruler and he never used to tell a lie. Okay, so he is known for his truth. He is known for his loyalty. So Harish Chandra was the first great leader, and the contest of Pratiharas were there, where Palas of Bengal were fighting against them to get the Kannauj, and Rashtrakutas of Deccan were also interested in the Kannauj area. The Chauhans of Delhi were also interested. They ruled the Ajmer area. The Vigraharaj was their most important king who occupied Delhi, and the next important ruler which we will read is Prithviraj Chauhan, who will defeat the Muhammad Ghori in the first battle of Tarayan and will be getting defeated next year in 1192 in the second battle of Tarayan. After the defeat, he was captured and taken away, and he was sent to Ghazni, where he had to fight against the Ghori, and he was killed. His army was captured, and unfortunately, with the death of Prithviraj Chauhan, the North India got divided again. Okay, so this is a very big time period of the history. The Parmaras means the Gurjar Pratiharas. Basically, they are the most important king of the this North India, and the most important king of them was Raja Bhoj. Have you heard this line? Kaha Raja Bhoj, kaha Gangu Teli? Means Raja Bhoj means big Raja, very important, very luxurious Raja. Gangu Teli means beggars, people, common man. So Raja Bhoj was a great Raja, and his military conquest as well as his cultural contributions are so important, so notable in the history of Rajputs, that it is all about the Rajputs now. Now, when I talk about these Gurjar Pratiharas ruler, they were the one who saved the country for many years, because after the Arab conquest of Sindh happened, the Sindhi rulers, the Sindhi Islamic rulers, they could not penetrate in India because there was a wall. There was a wall of Gurjar Pratiharas. The Gurjar Pratiharas were stopping them to come inside the India. But many of the travelers and many of the artists used to come through the passes, and traders also used to come here. So they used to see the Indian details like the Indian numerology, Indian astrology, Indian Ayurveda, Indian medicine, all the secrets of India. It got from the Arabic mediators to Europe. So European countries also got interested in knowing India more, and they started planning to colonize the country because they got the information from these Arabi rulers. Basically, these Arabi rulers will be like the rulers who are the middlemen of the world. They will serve as the middlemen between East and the West. The East was completely flourishing in all the kinds of trade. The East means the Eastern world, means the countries around India. Okay, means importantly Asia. So specifically India is most important here. East is very good, means India was very good. That's why East India Company was made by the Britishers. So basically, just understand, India was so good that West was dependent on East. Why West was dependent on East? Because West wanted spices, silk, cotton, indigo, handicrafts, everything. Whatever they wanted to survive, that survival was dependent on India, because due to their cold climatic conditions and due to their luxurious lifestyle, they could not grow indigo, cotton, silk, and spices in their own countries, and they wanted it, they needed it. It was their survival crisis that made them dependent on India. But these Western countries, they could not have a direct contact with the Indians. Why? Because in between East and West, there is a middleman in the Middle East. Who are they? They are the Muslim invaders. Muslim invaders, the Muslim rulers became the middlemen from the Arab. They used to stop the Western traders to go directly in the East. So, in between, why they used to stop it? For what? For what they were stopping the Western world to connect with India? Why they never wanted to have a direct connection between Europe and India? Why the Portuguese had to discover a new sea route while ignoring the Muslim middlemen and to get into such a big long distance trade route? We already had a trade route between India and Europe. We had so many Roman gold coins in South India. We found so many gold coins in the coastal India. So there was already a so nice route coming via Baghdad and also connecting from the Red Sea. Then why this new sea route was needed? Can you tell me? For what these Muslim invaders or Muslim rulers became the middlemen? What made them middlemen? What a middleman takes? Can you tell me? Middleman takes what? Middleman takes away what? Middleman works for what? Middleman works for what? Middleman lives for what? He lives for a commission. Okay? Commission. दलाली पता है आपको दलाली? Broker. A broker or a dalal, what he will do? Let's say you want to buy something from India. So if Europeans want to get something from India, they will first need to deal with this Arab Empire. Now these Muslim rulers, what they will do, they will sell the things on 10 times higher prices to them. This 10 times higher price will be the extra charges. Why? Because they are in the middle. They are in between East and West. So what they will do, they will try to stop them, and they will say that if you want to buy any Indian goods, you can only buy it from us. So that they could earn the brokerage, they could earn the charges as a middleman, they could earn their own commission as a middleman. That's why. So for their own commission, they wanted no direct connection between East and West. And this is the reason why Portuguese had to discover a new sea route to India. That's why Vasco da Gama needed Abdul Majid to reach the Calicut seaport, where Zamorin welcomed him. Getting my point? Why am I telling you this? Because the rise of Portuguese power, Portuguese, Dutch, French, East India companies, all of them, they came even before the Mughals. Babur came in India when? 1526. And Vasco da Gama? 1498. So Vasco da Gama came before the Babur. Portuguese came before the Babur came to India. Portuguese has their power and influence in India before the Mughals. So you should first read about the Portuguese and then you should read about the Mughals. Isn't it? Then it will be the nice sequence and the chronology of history, no? Otherwise the chronology will be disturbed. Why it is all mixed in your brain? Why you guys don't like the history? This is the reason. Because the chronology is not there. You don't follow the sequence. And in NCERTs also the sequence is not given. So you just read it and you don't try to connect that Portuguese and the European connection. The rise of the capture of Constantinople in 1453 by the Ottoman Turks is important. Because if you don't know about 1453, 1498, then how you will read 1526? If you will directly read the Battle of Panipat without reading the Vasco da Gama, then it will be confusing for you. That's why this is known as intralinking of concept. You need to connect it with the world history also. But I understand you don't have that much of time. I will connect it with the world history also, because from here you need to know what was happening in the world. Then only you will know why the medieval Indian history in India was like this. Why this kind of problem was there. Now, the Arab conquest of Sindh happened in 712 AD. I have already explained this to you in the starting of the class. Remember? Can you tell me the ruler of the name of the first ruler who was successful in the Arab conquest of Sindh? What was the name? I told you the name of 3 important Muslim rulers. So who was the first one? Yes. I'll explain the tripartite struggle now. So I need to know the name of rulers. Yes, Sumit, you are right. The first shipment gained profit of 60 times. Vasco da Gama only he got the profit 60 times, right? So in this particular part, the first ruler is Muhammad bin Qasim. Please remember Muhammad bin Qasim. Okay. So how the journey of Muhammad bin Qasim starts? Just understand. The religion Islam A very pure religion. A religion which is greatly misinterpreted today. A religion which is misinterpreted by terrorists. A religion which is misinterpreted by the uh, Hanafis and so many other sects of the Muslims. They follow triple talaq and they leave their women suffering. So the suffering is due to misinterpretation and misrepresentation of the religion. The suffering is because of the problematic followers and preachers. The suffering is not because of the religion. The religion is very pure. It is so pure that even in a small, line from Quran can heal you greatly. It is so pure. It is so healing. But the problem is that it is so misrepresented nowadays, especially in India, that the problem of triple talaq, the problem of Muslim personal law, the problem of Muslim Marriage Act, the problem of adoption and succession is so high. The problem of halala, the practice of halala, the practice of leaving women and doing so many other things, that is problematic. But that is problematic why? Because it got evolved with some time and it was preached very wrongly to the people. The separatist tendencies, it is not the part of Islam. Islam is never about separation. Islam is not a selfish religion. It is a religion which practices brotherhood, equality, simplicity, no elaborated rituals, no different forms of God, only one God, Allah. Such a nice and simple religion. But still, this simplicity got destroyed with time. How this simplicity got destroyed? This destruction you need to understand. That is your medieval Indian history, right? That is needed for you. So understand what is happening. Islam was born at Makkah in Arabia. Why in Makkah? Because in Makkah only Prophet Muhammad used to live. So in Makkah, in Arabia, Prophet Muhammad used to live. One night, Prophet Muhammad got the message from the messenger and he was just sleeping in his dream. He just woke up and suddenly he got the message of Masiha that who is Allah and why people should worship Allah. When he started talking about equality, he was attacked by the rich people of his own area, and that's why he had to migrate to Medina. So he went from Makkah to Medina, where he got more followers by preaching the ideas of Islam. He migrated to Medina in 622 AD, which was the starting point of the Muslim calendar, which is also known as Hijrah. So what is the starting point of Muslim era? Hijrah is the starting point of Muslim era. So after 8 years, he returned back to Makkah with his followers and then he died in 632 AD. Whatever he taught and whatever he wanted to give people is written in Quran. But before he could complete it, he died. So the other verses and other ideas and details were later added by the Khalifas or caliphs. Okay, they were the most important followers of the Prophet Muhammad. So whatever Prophet Muhammad taught, they started following it with purity. But the problem happened when they started their own ideas of interpretation, and that's why some sects in the Islam got rising. So here what happened, the followers of Muhammad, they set up an empire called Caliphate to protect the Islam, to spread the Islam and to spread the idea of Allah in the world. So they have a religious zeal. Can you explain me what do you mean by religious zeal? Religious zeal or religious energy or religious purpose. What do you mean by that? The rise of Islam and the Islamic rulers and the people in the Middle East being so important, so rising power, how they became so powerful, what made them so powerful, what is the reason? The religious zeal of the leaders. This is the reason. They were not just trying to capture the area. They were not only fighting for the resources, but they were also fighting for the spread of Islam. They were also fighting for the spread of Islam. That's why. Are you getting my point? So here the Umayyads and the Abbasids, they are the most important caliphs. So two different sects got divided here in Islam after the death of Prophet Muhammad. Umayyads and Abbasid. Umayyad Caliph, Abbasid Caliph. Umayyad Khalifa, Abbasid Khalifa. Okay, so now Umayyads and Abbasids started rising. Ultimately, with time, they started securing other areas as well. This is the way how they started the invasion. So they came to Sindh. So in 712 AD, by Muhammad bin Qasim, the first successful Islamic ruler to capture India, he was the commander of the Umayyad kingdom. Okay, so he came from the Umayyad side, Umayyad Khalifa, and Qasim extended his conquest further into Multan. Qasim organized the administration of Sindh, and the best thing is that when Qasim became the ruler, he was not trying to suppress the people of the Sindh. The common man of the Sindh became the protectors for him. Okay, they became the people who were responsibility for the Qasim. Qasim took the responsibility of the people, and the people of Sindh were given the status of zimmis. Zimmis means protected subjects in Islam. So Qasim was recalled by the Caliph. Basically, what was the idea of Prophet Muhammad? Prophet Muhammad, even in Islam, it is permitted to have 4 marriages. Okay, they can do 4 nikah in exam. 4 बार शादी कर सकते हैं in Islam at one time. Why? It was to give the protection to women, because when they used to go and have the war, their many husbands got killed. Okay, many soldiers got killed. Now their wives became widow. So to protect their wives and children, it was now required, it was the it was the requirement of that time that those women, they get protection because of the war. They should not lose their religious beliefs and their power. So ultimately, to give them protection, this idea of having 4 nikah became a custom in Islam. But the problem was that it was misrepresented later on, and this problem somehow nowadays is very exploitative and against the golden triangle of the constitution. What is the golden triangle of the constitution of India? Can you tell me what is the golden triangle? Article 14, Article 19 and Article 21. Article 14, 19, 21 is the golden triangle of Indian constitution, which is being broken by these new practices. Now, the expansion of Muslims in India was obstructed by the powerful Pratihara kingdom in the Western India. Diffusion of Indian culture abroad through the Arabs happened because when they came to know about India, as they are sitting on the gate of India, now they came here, travelers, they visited Sindh, and they took the ideas of Indian medicine, astronomy, Indian numerals. So Indian numerals in the Arabic form went to Europe, and it somehow made everyone deliberately excited about the Indians. Everybody wanted to know India more. Everybody wanted to come to India. It was a clear instinct that if you win India, you will win the world, and that's why attacks and invasions became more common nowadays. So here you see, in this particular time, in 712 AD, what is happening? Rajputs are still there, but here, at least in the Sindh area, they could capture. It was a great thing. They got this entire area. Okay, who was the ruler of Sindh at that time? Can you name? Who was the ruler of Sindh at that time when Muhammad bin Qasim came? The ruler of Sindh was known as Dahir. Dahir was defeated, but he was not killed. Okay, so Dahir was defeated, Raja Dahir. After this, Sindhi people, they became Zimmis. What is the common keyword here, which is important for exam? Zimmi. Zimmi means protected subjects. The idea of organizing the administration and developing the people, taking them as a responsibility, became so important that these people started having a very good administration and control in this area. But Sindh area and the ruler of Islam, they basically, they had to secure this region only, and they had to consider this as their border area. It was still a border for them. They could not penetrate inside the India. As they are sitting on the gate of India, they are sitting on the gate, they are sitting on the very much opening point of India, but still they could not get inside. Why? They could not get inside due to the presence of powerful Gurjar Pratihara kingdom. Due to the presence of powerful Gurjar Pratihara kingdom. Are you getting my point? Yes. Now understand, after this Arab conquest of Sindh, the next important, the second ruler came. Ruler number two, who is known as also as hero of Islam. Why? Because he destroyed many temples and made many mosques in India. He spread the ideas of Islam more, greatly than his predecessors. So now Mahmud of Ghazni came. Mahmud of Ghazni and his invasion is very important, which started in AD 997 to 1030. So Mahmud is said to have made 17 raids in India. 17 times he raided India and looted India. North India at that time basically was divided into number of Hindu states, and he started his campaigns from the Ghazni. His initial raids were against the Hindu Shahi kingdom, which extended from Punjab to Kabul. So he started from the Hindu Shahi kingdom. Okay, he defeated the ruler of Hindu Shahi kingdom, and it was King Jaipal who was defeated. After this defeat, King Jaipal was so, somehow he was so, we can say upset. He got so upset and he got so depressed that he himself immolated himself. He committed suicide, and in 1001 AD he was defeated and he committed suicide and he died. Due to his suicide, his successor, his son Anandpal, wanted to take revenge. So Anandpal fought against Mahmud, but he was also defeated in the Battle of Vahind. Please write Battle of Vahind. It is a keyword for your exam. Very, very important. In the Battle of Vahind, Mahmud again defeated the successor known as Anandpal, and the Hind Shahi capital near Peshawar became the part of the Muslim control. So in 1008 AD, they controlled the Peshawar area. Now Mahmud extended his control over the most of the areas of Punjab, which was a great victory for him. Now from Punjab in 1011, he raided Nagarkot in Punjab Hills and Thaneshwar near Delhi. Who got to rise the power of Thaneshwar? Can you give me the name of the ruler who made Thaneshwar his capital and made it very important in his initial rule? Harshvardhan. Okay, ruler Harshvardhan, the last Hindu ruler of ancient India. Clear? Any doubts? Yes. Now look at this. 1011 AD, he raided Nagarkot in the Punjab Hills at Thaneshwar near Delhi. In 1018, Mahmud plundered the Mathura and also attacked Kannauj. His next important and last campaign in India was in Gujarat, against when he sacked the famous temple of Somnath, and he destroyed many other temples. He died in 1030 AD. But when we talk about Mahmud, if you look at him from the Hindu perspective, you will hate him. If you look at him from a ruler's perspective, you will love him. Are you getting my point? Because as a ruler, he was a great ruler. Why? Because basically this is the empire of Mahmud of Ghazni. And look at this empire, look at his expansion. It is like he owned his own country. Such a big nation. Look at this map. This is Gujarat. This is your India. This is Delhi. Okay, this is India basically, here India. Now, this is Sindh. I hope you can see the map. The map is visible to you. Now look at this area. This is the empire of Mahmud of Ghazni. How he started his penetration. This is Transoxiana. Transoxiana is a very important part. So basically he started from Transoxiana. He captured some of the parts in 1000 AD, and then he captured some other parts in this part of the Iranian plateau, and then he came to India. In Lahore he started his victory. In 1008 AD he got Peshawar, then he got Punjab, he got some areas of Delhi also, and then in 1012 AD he got the entire zone of Iranian plateau. In 1029 AD Iranian plateau was captured. So this is happening, and the epicenter of this empire is where? Where is the epicenter? Can you tell me? Look at the map. Can you see the epicenter? Where is the epicenter? The epicenter is here, Ghazni. This is Ghazni. This is Delhi. From Ghazni to Delhi, everyone is coming. This is the journey which you need to know. This is the journey for UPSC which you need to know. Getting my point? Look at this map here. This is more elaborately discussed here. See, this is your Iran. This is Delhi. Okay, this is your entire India. Okay, fine. Now look at this part. This is Ghazni. This is Lahore. So, Delhi to Ghazni. Can you see the distance? Can you see the map? Anyone having any doubts? Yes or no? Can I continue? Are you enjoying the class? Is there anything going in your head? Is your brain active? Yes? Can we continue? Okay. So understand, Mahmud was the first person to no. It's not like that, Sumit. Basically, he is known as the hero of Islam. He's the first person to be known as the hero of Islam. Okay, this is the empire of Mahmud of Ghazni. Very big, very vast empire he had. Very vast empire. Now, result of Mahmud invasion. He paved the way for Turks and Afghans for further conquest, and he also drained the resources of India with his repeated raids, and the Indian manpower was also deprived because the soldiers got killed again and again due to his raids. Many Indians got killed. Now, when I talk about the Mahmud empire, Punjab in the east to Caspian Sea in the west, from Samarkand in the north to Gujarat in south, everything was there. He included Persia, Transoxania, Afghanistan, Punjab, as we have covered in the map. He was also a patron. Okay, he gave patronage to many of the people in his court, the poet and the laureate, like Firdausi. Firdausi was the author of Shahnama, who used to live in the court of Mahmud, and Al-Biruni wrote famous Kitab-e-Hind, an account on India. Again, very, very important. Please write it down for the exam. Al-Biruni was also living in the court of Mahmud. He got patronage from Mahmud. Al-Biruni is the author of Kitab-e-Hind, which gives a descriptive detail of India, and it is very important to know about the Indian history. It is the most important source for early medieval India. Then the last ruler of the early medieval Indian history is Muhammad Ghori. Very, very important, the most important ruler. The Ghori started the assaults for Ghazni but became independent after the death of Mahmud. So basically, they were like the feudatories. They were like the feudal lords or the Samant. I told you about the feudal lords in the last class. Do you remember? Feudal lords who used to take care of the law and administration, law and order in the area, in their own specific region with a standing army, and also used to collect the taxes on the regular basis. They used to rule in the behalf of the main sultan or ruler. It was a kind of decentralized system. So here in the Ghazni also, Muhammad Ghori, they were ruling as the vassals or the feudatories of Mahmud. But after the death of Mahmud, Ghoris became independent. So Ghoris are independent now, and when they are independent, they started the decline of Ghaznavid Empire. Now in the Ghaznavid Empire, when this decline happened, Muhammad Ghori, also known as Muizzuddin Muhammad, popularly Muhammad Ghori, brought the Ghazni under his control, and in this direction they started penetrating in India. So this is Ghazni and this is Delhi. This is Kannauj. So from Kabul, this area was captured. Then they captured Peshawar, they captured Lahore, Multan, Uch. Uch is very, very important. Look at Uch. Delhi. Here Chahmans are ruling. Chahmans are also known as Chauhans. Okay. And from this part they will go to the Kannauj also. So this is the empire of Muhammad Ghori. Now in 1175, Muhammad Ghori captured Multan. Okay, occupied the whole of the Sindh, and in 1186 he attacked the Punjab and annexed the dominion eastward. He was penetrating more and more. So eastward to the Satluj he captured. Now the most important thing which we need to know is the Battle of Tarayan in 1191 and 1192 AD. In 1191, Muhammad Ghori got defeated, but in 1192 he defeated Prithviraj Chauhan and ultimately became victorious. So Gauri's invasion and conquest of Punjab led his invasion of the Chauhan kingdom, and the first battle of Tarayan happened. Very important. Look at this line. Near Delhi, it occurred under the command of Prithviraj Chauhan, in which Gauri got defeated in 1191. The problem with the Chauhans and these Rajput rulers was that sometimes they became very big in their principles. Their principles were very, very high. Sometimes their principles were higher than the nation, which is wrong. Nation first. You should not die for your principles. You should die for your nation. You are the ruler. You are the protector of your people. If you can't protect them, then what will we do with your principles and your philosophies? The philosophy is of no use if it cannot help the people to survive. And here the mistake of Prithviraj Chauhan was that he left Muhammad Gauri alive. He left Muhammad Gauri alive even after defeating him. He was not killing Muhammad Gauri, and Muhammad Gauri, he got the chance again. He planned, came back next year to take the revenge, and this time he killed Prithviraj Chauhan. So, second battle of Tarain happened in 1192. It was a decisive battle and was a major disaster for Rajput, where Prithviraj Chauhan was captured and killed. The first Muslim kingdom was firmly established in India at Ajmer, and a new era in the history of India began, after which Muhammad Gauri returned to Ghazni and left his general Qutbuddin Aibak to make further conquest in India. So now the Qutbuddin Aibak will take care of everything. When Muhammad Gauri went back, when he was trying to make some plan, he came back again later. Then they captured some other areas also, but after few years he was killed while reading namaz. So he was killed while reading namaz, he was attacked, and ultimately due to this Muhammad Gauri died and Qutbuddin Aibak became independent. As he was the commander-in-chief of the army and he was the governor, so he started his own ways and he was so ambitious that he started the Delhi Sultanate. But what happened after the death of Prithviraj Chauhan? After the death of Prithviraj Chauhan, Battle of Chandwar happened. The Battle of Chandwar was fought between Aibak and Jaichand of Kannauj of the Gadwal dynasty, and the establishment of Turkish rule happened in India. Now these battles and the Battle of Tarain and Chandbar contributed to the rise of the Islamic world. Now what are the causes for the failure of Hindu kingdom? First of all, they used to fight among themselves. There was lack of unity. Many Hindu states were declining in power. They had outdated military methods. They were still using the elephants. They were not having quick moving cavalries like the Arabi rulers. Indian continued to rely on elephants, and Muslims had quick moving cavalry, quick moving horses. Muslim soldiers had a better organization and they were able leaders. Among Hindus also, the duty of fighting was confined to a particular class only, Kshatriyas, and rest acknowledged defensive technique. They were so defensive that they never thought of attacking anybody. Indians never thought of going out of India. Indians are very comfortable in their mind and nature that they never thought to go into the details of defeating anybody else, and that's why the rise of Delhi Sultanate started. When we see the rise of Delhi Sultanate, we need to know the political history of Delhi Sultanate. Slave dynasty started by Qutbuddin Aibak, and then Iltutmish, Razia Sultan, and the chief architect is Balban. Balban is the chief architect of Delhi Sultanate. Then Khaljis. Khalji basically started by Jalaluddin Khilji but expanded by Alauddin Khilji. The reforms of Alauddin Khilji are very, very important for you. He had three types of reform. Can you tell me three types of reform of Alauddin Khilji? Number one, army reform. Number two, market reform. Number three. Can you tell me? Yes. Any idea, guys? Alauddin Khilji, he had three types of reforms: army reform, market reform, and land reforms. So first of all, he did the entire measurement of the land area so that he could know that which noble is having what kind of land, what type of land, how much of land. Land measurement was done so that land revenue will be applied accordingly. Revenue was collected in cash and the cash payment was given to the soldiers. Okay, soldiers used to follow the Hulia system where the descriptive list of each and every soldier was made with their I-card, where it was written that how every soldier used to look, so that in the training period, when the soldiers got trained, they had to come regularly, and they also used to participate in the army properly whenever there was a war. Also, he also started a dag system, branding of the horses, where he used to brand the horses with some symbols to know that these are the royal horses. Have you seen people living in the government quarters? Sometimes what they do, when they get government quarters or the house from the government side, they, instead of living in the house, they keep it on rent to earn more money. People do this. So what is the problem here? Government gave you house for your personal use. Government gave you a car for your office use. Government gave you some of the stationery item for your office needs, and you started using it and selling it in the market. That is wrong. It's not something which is good. We should never do it. But people do it. So people at that time also, they used to sell the royal horses, as they were the great breed of the horses. Now these royal horses were very, very expensive in the markets. When these royal horses were sold, and when it was known to the Sultan, he decided to make a plan that he will do a branding of the horses. What he will do, he will make a symbol, a stamp, which will be there on the back of the horses, so that they will know that it is a royal horse, and the royal horse should not be found anywhere else than the royal army or with the officers. Other than that, if they would be if they would be found, then the person having that royal horse would be punished. So in this way, he made the dag system. Dag system and hulia system was the part of his army reform. Other than that, he also started the cash payment for his army men, which gave a lot of power to the people. He made market reforms also. According to the market reforms, he did two important things. He controlled the inflation and he controlled the prices of all the goods. He made a fixed price list for everything, and it was strictly given to all the shopkeepers and the traders in the market that they should not charge higher prices, and they should always be honest during the measurement of each and every item. If any dishonest trader will be found, he will be fined, he will be punished. Even if let's say a shopkeeper giving a lesser measurement of sugar or anything, so that lesser amount will be taken, how, with according to the punishment, it will be the muscle mass of his body will be cut, and that lesser measured value will be cut, so that to compensate it and to punish it. This kind of harsh punishments were given by Alauddin Khilji. To regulate the society, he banned the sale of alcohol and the liquor. He also started a new idea that if anybody wanted to have an assembly in his region, they had to take permission from the ruler first, that if they wanted to have some festival gatherings or assemblies, so it was not possible without the permission of Sultan. And to take care of each and everything in this way, he had a very big web of spies, jasus, to take care of the responsibility, and spy on spy was also there. जासूस का भी जासूस हुआ करता था, so that Alauddin Khilji will know about everything. He destroyed many parts of the history where his name was not written, because he only wanted his name to be there in the history. So he destroyed many of the historical details and the facts also. But he gave patronage to many great singers, artists and writers in his court. That's why he is great. Now the problem with Alauddin Khilji is that he planned things very suddenly, and he was the only ruler in India who attacked and defeated Mongols. All the rulers used to be very fearful of Mongols, but Alauddin Khilji was never fearful. But his only problem was that he, when got the idea of Padmavati, wanted to get married to Padmavati, but Padmavati was already a married woman in a Hindu family, and she was a Rajput bride. But he wanted to see Padmavati, in which he was not successful at all. and that's why, because of the Padmavati episode written in the Padmavat. Can you tell me the author of Padmavat? Who wrote Padmavat? JSE. Jayasi wrote the Padmavat. Okay, so here there only the idea of everything is written, that how Padmavati used to look and what they used to do. Ultimately, Padmavati, she did Johar when her husband died, and then after that episode, Alauddin Khilji also became mentally unstable, and then he was later poisoned by his own slave known as Malik Kafur. Malik Kafur had some bisexual relations with Alauddin Khilji, and he himself gave poison to Alauddin Khilji. These kind of stories are written in the Google, but don't need to go into that, because UPSC will never ask you. UPSC is never interested in how a ruler was killed, because these big rulers, they were killed in a very problematic situations. Like Akbar, he died due to loose motions. Jahangir, he slipped from the stairs of the, sorry, not Jahangir, but Humayun. He slipped from the stairs of the library. Kutubuddin Aibak, he fell from the horse while playing the chogan. These kind of deaths happened in the history. Sometimes they were killed by their own brothers. Sometimes they were killed by their own sons. Okay, so UPSC is not interested in death. UPSC won't ask you irrelevant questions about what was the height of Jahangir, what kind of milk he used to like. No, it's not important. It's not relevant if Anarkali was real or not. Don't need to go into that. You just need to understand some of the important facts. So here, Alauddin Khilji had some reforms. Now Tughlaq. Tughlaqs, they started their rise. Muhammad bin Tughlaq was considered the best of the best ruler of that time. But of course, he could not execute his ideas and his experiments. Next was the Firoz Shah Tughlaq, and his administration is again very important. And the last are the Sayyids and Lodhis. Sayyid dynasty, short-lived dynasty started by Khizr Khan, ended by the Alam Shah by handing over everything to the Bahlul Khan Lodi. Lodi started with the Bahlul Khan Lodi, Sikandar Lodi expanded it, and Ibrahim Lodi ended it in the first battle of Panipat. Clear? In the first battle of Panipat. Any problem? Any doubt till now? Is it clear? So this is the idea which you need to know while reading the Delhi Sultanate. Also, you need to know about the administration in the Delhi Sultanate, the art and culture of the Delhi Sultanate. Because for the very first time in India, we saw the rise of Islamic art with mixing of the indigenous style. So this is known as what? Can you tell me the name of the style? Islamic style and Indian style getting mixed together is known as Indo-Islamic architecture. It is important for your art and culture also. Indo-Islamic architecture. Very, very important. Now understand this. Basically, in the slave dynasty, initially, a lot of architectural developments could not be there. Why? Because they were trying to lay a foundation. So they were working for the foundation. They got no time to experiment. But Khilji dynasty, they used to talk about the strength of the architecture. Strength was more important than anything else. Tughlaq also started making some tombs. Sayyids were not that interested, so they could not do a lot because they were limited in their scope. But most of the architectural developments happened during Lodhis. Many of the Lodhi gardens situated in New Delhi today, and many of the tombs made by them are important for us. Okay, they are very, very important. Lodhis got defeated in the first battle of Panipat in 1526 due to the arrogance of Ibrahim Lodi. Everybody used to complain about the arrogance of Ibrahim Lodi. So, Basically, when I talk about this part of Delhi Sultanate and this Indo-Islamic architecture, you need to know that from now, you will have two types of political administration and architectural development. The first will be the central style, started from the central government, from the union, which is also known as imperial style. Imperial style. And the second is known as provincial style. In the states, in the provinces. Okay, provincial style. So the central style or the imperial style will be given patronage by the Sultan himself, and the provincial style will get the patronage from the local rulers, local kings. So two types of styles got developed in the Indo-Islamic architecture: central or imperial style and the provincial style. Imperial style, provincial style. Please remember or write it down if you don't know. You will read it more in the art and culture class. Okay? You will read it more in the art and culture class. So, when I talk about Delhi Sultanate, from 1206 to 1526 AD, this Delhi Sultanate was there. The important location which we need to understand is Panipat, Delhi, Jaunpur, Devgiri. These are the important ones. Later, when the Mughals came, Mughal penetrated into deep south and they captured the entire area. So, Mughals had a greater zone of control than the Delhi Sultanate. Okay, but first we will start from Delhi Sultanate. So from where we will start? We will start from the slave dynasty. Slave dynasty from AD 1206 to 1290 AD. This is very important, slave dynasty. Now, slave means what? Slave means knocker, slave, servant. How it is possible for a servant to become general and to rise in power like that? If you remember, there was a time when a lot of slavery used to be practiced. These slaves, they had no personal rights for them. They had no personal freedom. They were not allowed to do anything. They used to be loyal for their masters only, as they were bought from the markets like the animals or other items. They were not considered a pure human being, but they were always considered like a person just born for the service only. Now, these slaves, when they used to take care of their masters, they thought to do a lot of good things for their masters so that they could be rewarded and awarded well. Some of the slaves were very intelligent and loyal to their masters, that they were given priorities more than son. More than son. Servant was more important than son. नौकर बेटे से भी बड़ा हो गया, जरूरी हो गया. नौकर की जरूरत ज्यादा है, बेटे से भी ज्यादा. Why? Because if you look at the example of Qutbuddin Aibak, the son of Qutbuddin Aibak, okay, Aarambh, he became the ruler, but he could not maintain his royal order for more than 8 months. Within 8 months, he had to leave the throne. The throne was usurped, he was killed, he was defeated by Iltutmish. Iltutmish was the slave of Qutbuddin Aibak, but Aram Baksh was the son of Qutbuddin Aibak. Son was defeated by the servant of the master. This level of equality is getting followed in Islam. Islam is all about equality. You should know that every religion talks about salvation only. They all want to give you salvation, but they only follow different paths. Like in Hindu, the concept of Dvij is followed. Twice born. Dvij means twice born. Okay. In Islam, the concept of brotherhood and equality is important. Brotherhood and equality. In Christianity, it is more about compassion, and empathy. In Buddhism, it is about following a midway, a mid path. Also, idea of non-violence. In Jainism, it is about conquering your senses, controlling your senses. In Sikhism, it is about inner purity. Sufism mixes love with devotion. These are the concepts of different religions getting followed in India, and they were all very, very popular in the medieval times. Now, idea of Hinduism, which is about twice born, gets with elaborated rituals, but it is very different from Islam. Islam is completely opposite of it. Like in Hindu Marriage Act, the Hindu marriage is sacramental in nature. It is eternal. There is no idea of separation and divorce in Hinduism. There is no word for divorce in Hinduism. In Sanskrit, there is no word for divorce. But the Muslim marriage is a contractual marriage, okay, which is happening with witness, and it can be done only with the advocates. Okay. Muslim marriage is contractual in nature, Hindu marriage is sacramental in nature. So can you see the difference? A lot of difference was there. Now, in this Islamic practice, what happened? That they used to give a lot of power and importance to their slaves who used to work for the masters. Now, they were getting promoted with time. They used to get a lot of promotions according to their loyalty and their service. With their services and power, they were getting trained, and with more training, they used to get more popular. Same happened with Qutbuddin Aibak. Qutbuddin Aibak was the slave of Muhammad Ghori. Iltutmish was the slave of Qutbuddin Aibak. And then Balban, who is considered as the chief architect of Delhi Sultanate, was also a noble only. He was a noble of Nasiruddin. So, as slaves are ruling in India, that's why it is known as slave dynasty, the first dynasty of Delhi Sultanate. It tells you that the Indian history is moving backward. We started from the urbanism of Harappan dynasty, the urban era, and then we came to the tribal people of Aryans. Aryans were tribals only. They were the nomadic, they were the herders, they used to follow a tribal polity. So look at the history, the golden history of India, which started from such a urban power, great power of Bronze Age. We had such a high level of ancient golden system. Somehow got the Varna system later, then caste system in the Gupta Empire. Gupta Empire saw the golden age, the renaissance was there, but in the later Gupta period, the economy declined. And after the death of Harshvardhan, the slaves started ruling the India. And ultimately, we will lose our freedom. We will be colonized by the Britishers, and then we will struggle for the freedom. And in the end, the country will be divided between two nations, India and Pakistan. So, Indian history, when you will be moving ahead, it will be more depressing for you. It looks like we are going backward. We are not having a progressive history of India. It is not progressive at all. We started from a very high point, and the development, the social control, the wealth, the economy, the resources, the manpower, the culture, custom, purity, sanctity, everything is declining with time. It will be so much declined that with the August offer, Muhammad Ali Jinnah will kill so many people in India. They will become so brutal. Those people who used to have so much of empathy for each other, who used to follow the law of karma, they became like animals. They became corrupt due to the British rule. Britishers taught the corruption to the Indians, and we learnt it so well that we are still not able to forget it. And that's why we had to include the ethics and integrity paper for UPSC. Right? So ultimately, the slave dynasty, which is from 1206 to 1290, it is also known as Mamluk dynasty. What is the Mamluk term? Mamluk is a Quranic term. Mamluk means slave. Mamluk means slave or servant. In this slave dynasty, it is further divided into three dynasties. The slave dynasty is further divided into three dynasties. Three different families used to rule in the slave dynasty. The first was started by Qutbuddin Aibak, known as Qutbi dynasty, from 1206 to 1211. It was founded by Qutbuddin Aibak. The second dynasty is the first Ilbari dynasty, started by Iltutmish from 1211 to 1266, which is a very big rule, 60 years of rule, founded by Iltutmish and developed by later Razia Sultan. Then the second Ilbari dynasty is from 1266 to 1290, founded by Balban. Balban is also known as the chief architect of Delhi Sultanate. He is the chief architect of Delhi Sultanate because he was the first to start a separate military department, which is also known as Diwane Aris. Diwane Aris. Okay. So, I think we have already discussed a lot in today's lecture, and I'll continue it from here only tomorrow. Okay. So, tomorrow will you guys come? 8 p.m. 8 p.m. I'll come live tomorrow. Okay. I hope you will come tomorrow. Tell me yes or no. Did you like today's class? If you liked it, if you want to know more about the classes, if you want to join the course, let me know. I'm there to help you and guide you in the comment section. Also, guys, I want you to join this particular batch because we all know that in prelims, it is very important to crack CSAT. Even after you know all the facts of GS, sometimes CSAT becomes the wall for you. So, CSAT 2026. New batch is coming by the IITians, Sugam Bansal sir and Kuldeep Singh Rathore sir. These two teachers are the best teachers of CSAT in this country. They will help you and guide you in their best way, and you will have all the notes, all the test series. So from the basic to advanced, the by Master of CSAT, the offline batch is coming, limited series. Online batch is also there. If you want, you can join. But this is a very important batch. So please join it. It is recommended by AIA1 Civil Services Examination 2024. Everybody is here. Where are you? Okay. So guys, I'll end this session here only. Okay. I hope you enjoyed the session. In case of any doubts, please let me know. Those who are new in the class, please like the video. I'll come again tomorrow, 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. to meet you guys, and I'll continue the session from here only. I'll connect the points from the Delhi Sultanate, and then we will discuss the Mughal Empire. Okay. Okay guys, thank you so much then. Take care. Bye-bye.